All right, here we go again. This will be my semi-permanent home for my new RO water system. See, I got the Hydrologic RO 150 screwed to the wall, and this has amazed the crap out of me. How much iron oxide the sedimentary filter is pulling out. This water coming into here does not go through my water softener, and if you didn't catch it on one of my earlier videos, I am on well water. So we got it right now running off this hose bib that comes through my garage, down through there, back up through this, and then for my hydroponic setups I've got, they always came with one of these 55-gallon reservoir tanks, and I was only using one of them. So this one is now my RO water reservoir tank. And see if I can pull this thing out. Well, shit. Let's just do this. That thing's been sitting there filling for a good part of the day. So down in there, focus. And just see, got a 630 gallon per hour pond pump that I put in. Ran a hose up to this nice little valve right here. And when we go ahead and we plug it in, I need to do a switch for this. Other way. Come on. Come on. There we go. Some nice fresh RO water for hydroponic plants, soil plants, or morning coffee. Pretty happy with how that thing works. But I'm working most of the day, getting everything squared away. I go back to work tomorrow. And yeah, here's my garage. As you can see, a little bit of a gearhead as well. And mountain biker. And yeah, I have too many hobbies. All right. So plant update. It's, like I said, it's that same 55-gallon drum I got going on out in my garage for my RO water reservoir. So, since my last video, oh shit, the phone get used to the light in here. Got a little bit of trimming on the plants here. Everything bobbed up. There's the medicinal herb growers call it, lollipopped. But those guys, they know a lot about their horticulture and everything. Get this other side unzipped here. Now, one thing, after the last video, you go back and look at it, you'll see this pot right here had some shiny stuff around there. Here it is, middle of winter where I'm at, and I got aphids. So these things have been being sprayed down on a daily basis with Azamax. Just went through and cleaned up a bunch of stuff in here. My soil plants, get them a little bit closer to the lights and everything. All my hydro ones are kind of growing up, so I had to raise the lights. Getting a little bit of light stress on some of them, because I got them on some of my older 5-gallon hydro bubble buckets turned upside down, and they're doing pretty good and everything. And some of my sticky traps in here for the aphids and everything. My starts, got them bottom watered right here. They're doing pretty good. I still haven't found a new home for them. But yeah, this leaf curl on these peppers. I've had it quite a few times in the past. You look at the bottom side of them. Yeah, that one doesn't show quite so much. And some of these get some edema spots coming off of them. I think a lot of it might be light stress. These are some pretty new lights, but they were folding to begin with my ceramic metal halide lamps. And these habaneros, they seem to do it pretty regularly. Last habanero batch I did and everything, a few months back and everything, which I had to chop everything down due to aphids. They were pretty prone to this leaf curl too. Not everything is doing it, but I started seeing it a lot on the other plants. These ones are starting to do it here. And that's my jalapeno, this sweet pepper, starting to do it. But still, I had some signs of nutrient deficiencies and everything as well. That's why I went with RO water. Something else about RO water. Boy, I've gotten used to mixing all my hydroponic nutrients with the water that I had been using, which, oddly enough, over the last summer, like I said, I'm on a well. Last summer it was reading about 7.5 out of the faucet. It shot up over the past few months to 8 to 8.5. And even with correcting it and everything, bringing it back down, it would start still shooting back up. This reservoir right here would mix my nutrients in it. Get it back down to where it was supposed to be after mixing the nutrients in. And then give it a few days and the pH would go right back up. Almost 2 points. Like from 6.0 up to 7.5, 7.8. Or excuse me, 8.0. So there is something in the water, even though my original ppm out of the faucet was 140, 150. That was after my water softener. However, I found that hose bib that I was just pointing out in the shop that got my RO water running off of, it doesn't go through my water softener. And it comes out at about 120, 130 ppm. So that's why we're running the hose through that, or the hose from that bib through the water, the RO filter. It already has lower ppm, make it easier on the RO filter. So yeah, just spent a couple hours actually, getting everything trimmed up, cleaned up. I go back to work tomorrow. I work a remote job, so I'm away from home for 2 weeks at a time. Not giving anything up. Anybody that's watching this video that hears me say something like that might actually know where I work at. I'll go ahead and check out this tent here real quick. These guys are doing really well. I just went through and pollinated a bunch of the flowers. Chili Castaño right there. God, those things always look so stringy and all over the place. But that is just how they are. We can go do a comparison with the one that I have going in the other tent. Thai Dragon and a Xavier there. You know, it's funny because these three plants right here were planted at the exact same time as the ones over in the other. They're not near as tall. Now, I had some cheaper Fight LED lights on top of these to begin with that I had gotten years ago from Home Depot. And then I put that Viper Spectra P2000 over them. I think it must have, between those two lights, two style of lights, they must have a lot more blue in them or something. I've been watching a little bit too much of Shane on Migro and everything on his YouTube channel. But that's the only thing I can think of. But the one thing about them, like I said in one of my other videos, these things are frickin' just dense. I mean, they're like stout. They're like that short, squat, high school wrestler that, hey, it didn't look real big, but I tried to push him around and it was just like pushing on a brick wall. But this is the first time, actually this is a pretty new tent too. I've only had it for a couple months, so let's see what kind of a difference running this CMH bulb in here does. But worked pretty well for me. I had 2 of these. In fact, there's the other one hanging right there. Those were my primary grow lamps in that tent over the past year. And I actually got pretty good results. Maybe a little bit underpowered for that tent. But like I said, I had good results, period. There's no way, ifs, ands, or buts around that. But yeah, had to raise these ones up, like I said, looking at some of the what appears to me to be some light stress. Now, granted, let me put this out there for you. I am no horticultural expert. Though I've been doing this for a few years now, I've added so many variables into my grow from where I started off at that, yeah, I have a few new things pop up. But I went ahead, raised the 420s up, and I had them at 115% power output that you can do with their master controller. I went ahead and backed it down to 100%, raised them up, raised up that Viper Spectre right there. And by the way, this thing's doing, it's funny, without having this lamp right here in the center where the 2 bigger lights sit at, it actually creates quite a bit of a dark spot. I had the same issue when I had my 2 CMH lamps in here. I'd actually put a couple, if you look at my very first video, I had 2 of the Fight LED lamps I'd put in here. Actually, so my Myers Lemon there, which seems to have been only just barely hanging on for dear life over the past few years, get a little bit more light because it was right in the center and it was taller than everything else at that point in time. Citrus trees, what fun. They are so temperamental. You look at them the wrong way and all the leaves drop off. But, like I said, I'm going to work for 2 weeks, so these humdingers will be sitting here by themselves. I mean, my wife watches them, don't get me wrong. She's going to do some more spraying of some Azamax for me because of our aphid, and she watches them and everything. But the more automated that I can have this, for me, the better. Quite frankly, I kind of like it too, because it's kind of a gadgety, fidgety guy, and if there's something newest, latest, greatest out there, I like playing with it. Which is probably why I like hydroponics more than growing in soil. But yeah, like I said, you got the soil plants up here. Ain't nothing wrong with growing in soil. 2 of my pepper seedlings there that I put in the bigger pots there. Yeah, I think I was saying something about that the other day too. And I went ahead and bottom watered those guys. Mind you, all these pepper plants were planted at the same time too. It's pretty amazing how much a difference lighting and environment makes off them. Because these ones down here, they sink right down in here. They're definitely stretchy. Some of them were pretty thick. Oh God, let me see if I can get in there. No, that one right there, I'm way too close to. I mean, they're doing pretty good, but not nearly as big as the rest of them. But still want to give them a fighting chance. If I can find them a new home, good. Don't like just wasting them. Oh, real quick. It's a bumblebee on a stick doing some pollination. Yeah, I'll have a few peppers here in a few weeks. Just swapped out all my solution and everything. These things were, I was trying to veg them for as long as I could. But they were already starting to push flowers and everything. So, and grows past I've done. And as soon as I start pushing flowers, I just swap my nutrients around. Which brings up something else. RO water and hydroponic nutrients along with your ppm or EC and pH. Holy dog stuff. Okay, I played hell getting a pH just right, going by the manufacturer's feeding schedule. I'm using Botanicare. And in fact, I'll just go over here. We'll get into it. Pure Blend Pro. And of course some of their other things too there. Along with some Great White. I've been trying it out. Never used it before until now. So, this stuff will drop your pH. Along with the Grow. I'm sure sweet Pure Blend tea and the CalMag all have something to do with it too. This is all what I've been putting in there. Well, obviously, right now I'm doing the Bloom, not the Grow. But this stuff, going by their feed chart on the back here, which is what I've gone by. I'm starting to graduate more into measuring ppms, EC, what have you. Going by this with the RO water. See, in the past, I'd put it in there with my well water. Of course, and then the well water pH would change. But going by their feed schedule here, I'll flip this around like for the 17th time. Along with the CalMag, the Sweet. Actually, this is pretty new, but this is part of it right now. And the Pure Blend tea. Yeah, with the well water that I've been using, probably off that faucet, my pH, until it decided to raise, would be about 6.0. Give or take 0.2 or 3 up or down. Using the RO water, and I would have, sometimes I'd have to adjust it with the orange Kool-Aid there. Using the RO water, it dropped it down to like a 4.3. And I played hell trying to get it back up into the mid to high 5s. It's like, wow. Which is one of the reasons I usually only put about 30 gallons into this thing. Right now, it's about at 40 gallon mark. This thing was almost full because I kept on adding more water in. Had to take some out, put more in. It was, and what I was doing as well. So I was trying to get enough mixed up in there, not only for this system, but also to pump some over into this reservoir here. And oh my God, that turned into a pain in the ass. That'll be something I need to keep in mind the next time I go in and fill this thing up. Change out the solution, or water, nutrients, or whatever you want to call it. Because yeah, it's way more sensitive to pH adjustments, and it did not want to come up. I used a ton of pH up. The blue Kool-Aid. Not the orange Kool-Aid like right there. The blue Kool-Aid. Yeah. And then trying to put that in without turning everything into a big, nice, gloppy, precipitate, cloudy mess. Yeah, precipitate. Remember your chemistry classes. Yeah, when you knock something out of solution, like CalMag with pH up, or whatever it was knocking out of solution. You know more about it? Put a comment in below and correct me on it. It's cool by me. So, in any case, that's what I got going now. It'll be a couple weeks for a post again. I think I'm only going to work for about a week and a half, and I'll be home for 2 weeks. So, share, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know that you're alive. and I'll keep y'all posted. Thanks.